So I found out about UNOH through researching online, really. I was at a different community college at the time. It was automotive geared, but it wasn't really what I wanted to be doing. I finished my spring semester there and started researching other options, and every time I looked up something like high performance school or automotive school or anything, it kept popping up with UNOH over and over again. And I decided to come check it out, do a little research on it, and do a campus tour. And visiting for the first time and seeing the classrooms in person and seeing just the resources that students have, it blew me away. And honestly, it felt like it was a dream, honestly. I didn't know a place like this really existed before. And coming here and getting to check it all out in person was pretty incredible. I think I love the adrenaline about racing the most and the community behind it. It's a competitive community, but at the end of the day, everyone's all doing the same thing. We're all got the same goal. I just think it's the feeling of just being out there and there's not a worry in the world except for you in the car. That to me is very freeing, and it's a blast. I was into watching Formula drifting a little bit online, and then I came here and I met a few other students that were very interested in drifting. They actually had some drift cars. I had a truck and a trailer, and they needed a truck and a trailer, and we started going to events together. The following year, I purchased my own car and started racing myself, and then just having a good group of guys around me. We had at one point 5 or 6 different guys that had cars, and we were all pushing to just get better and better. And I realized it was something I loved as soon as I started competing against other people. I'm naturally a very competitive person. I played sports my whole life, so I wanted to set my goals as high as I could and try to go compete with the best, and that's kind of why I got the Formula Drift bug and got the dreams to go drive with those guys. When I first started here, I was on the motorsports team, and I met Frankie Evans and Austin Howie, 2 other students who have now graduated. And they were both on the motorsports team at the same time as me. I just started tinkering with it, doing little things here and there. Started hanging out a lot more, and we started just basically putting our visions into it, and whatever we thought that we wanted to do, one of the 3 of us did it. I happened to have the car that we decided to build, and we went at it. It was a 2-year project. At some points it was just me, at some points it was just Frankie, at some points it was just Austin, but pretty unique, I think, that none of us knew each other before. One is from Indiana, one is from New Hampshire, and I'm from North Carolina. And chances are our paths would have never crossed if we didn't come to UNOH. There was a lot that I used on this car that I learned in class, and that I learned on this car that helped me in class. There was lots of fabrication that went into this car, so I really enjoyed the fabrication and welding courses. And then now, as I'm getting into the car running and working, I'm getting into a lot of suspension setup stuff. And so I'm kind of going back to a lot of the stuff I learned in Hypo S&S and being able to apply it and see how it changes things. But I absolutely did do some things on the car that were coinciding with the class I was currently in. I think the best way to learn is, for me at least, is to be hands-on and doing it. And you get a lot of opportunity for that in class, but then when you get out on your own project, and you definitely start to learn a lot more too. My first goal, I want to try to win my Pro Spec license. Currently competing in a Pro-Am series at Lake Erie Speedway. They award a winner, the top 3 finishers of the season receive a license to go up to Pro Spec. My first goal, I guess, that's a baby step goal, but I want to eventually, in the next 3 to 4 years, be able to get my pro license and be able to compete at the Pro 1 level in FD. We went down to Formula Drift St. Louis. It was a great time. We got to work with Kevin Wells, who is the competition director. They kind of showed us the ins and outs of 5-minute calls and what goes on in the pits. And then we actually had a couple opportunities to be in the pits with some of the teams as they were wrenching on things and just see how well they plan out things. We got to see a lot of the behind the scenes of the track workers and what goes into actually making the show happen. Being a driver at a lot of these events, I never really see that side of it. I'm just focused on driving. And seeing it at that level, that kind of behind the scenes look was very interesting. It's a lot that goes into it. It was an incredible opportunity with UNOH to go out there, and an experience I'll never forget, for sure. I would not be where I'm at today without UNOH and some of the things that have happened and experiences I've had here. I just think from a relationship standpoint alone, some of the people that I've met, you never would have crossed paths in the real world had we not come here. And I think that us meeting and having like-mindedness and having a similar goal, it's the perfect storm really to make great opportunities. I definitely think it's catapulted me quite a few years ahead of a lot of others, just simply by being here. I think that the fact there's a school you can go to for racing is just a little bit insane, but it's very cool because it gives kids like me the opportunity to chase that dream and makes you realize it's really not very far-fetched. It's a big industry, and there's lots of places to fit in, lots of places to work and learn, and all sorts of things. And I think it's an incredible opportunity that a place like this exists.